Let the stress flow away, because we're about to have an honest conversation about something many dream of, but few understand. Retirement. Retirement, as we've come to know it, feels like the final step in the traditional life roadmap. You're born, you grow up, you work hard, you retire. Somewhere along the way, you buy a house, start a family, maybe adopt a dog. It's a neatly packaged narrative. But let's be real, not everyone fits this mold. And that's what we're exploring today. Is retirement really what you want? Or more importantly, is it what you need? The truth is, if you're a driven, passionate person, stepping away from work might be one of the worst decisions you could make. But first, let's zoom out for some perspective. Retirement, as we know it, is a relatively modern invention. Back in the early days of the industrial age, people were literally working themselves to death. Long hours in grueling conditions, whether in factories or out on farms, left people physically broken by their 50s. In those times, retirement wasn't about leisure, it was about survival. If you couldn't work anymore, your best hope was that your kids would take care of you. If not, you were left begging in the streets. Enter retirement planning, a concept born out of necessity as much as compassion. Governments and insurance companies developed systems to support workers as they aged. It made sense back then, but does it still make sense today, especially for those of us who do more mental labor than physical? Here's the thing, while fewer people are toiling away in backbreaking jobs these days, a lot of people still look forward to retirement. Why? For many, it's because they don't love what they do. Retirement becomes the light at the end of a long, dark tunnel. But that raises a much bigger question. Should we be spending 40 years doing something we don't love just to earn the right to stop working? This is where it gets tricky. You see, work does more than just pay the bills. It gives our lives structure, purpose, and a sense of accomplishment. When people retire, they often lose those things. They also lose the mental stimulation that keeps their brains sharp, which is why cognitive decline is so common in retirement. If you're engaged and challenged by your work, staying in the game might be the best way to keep your mind active and healthy as you age. Here's another hard truth. If you're dreaming of retirement because you hate your job, the problem isn't that you're working, it's that you're not doing something you're passionate about. Wouldn't it be better to find work that energizes you rather than counting the days until you can stop? Now, we get it. Finding your dream job is easier said than done. It takes courage, patience, and a willingness to fail along the way. But if you can find something you love, something that doesn't feel like a burden, you might discover that retirement becomes less of a goal and more of an option you can take or leave. Even if you don't find your perfect job, work still gives your life a sense of meaning. Humans are wired to want to feel competent, to be productive, to have some impact on the world around them. And while family and hobbies can fill some of those needs, there's something about contributing through work that taps into our deeper psychological needs. It's no wonder that many people, after retiring, find themselves feeling aimless, even depressed. The routine and sense of purpose that work provided is suddenly gone, and they're left wondering, what now? Now, don't get us wrong. We're not suggesting that you keep working with the same intensity at 70 that you did at 30. Priorities change as we age, and there's no denying that. You might want to spend more time with family, travel, or finally take up those hobbies you've been putting off. But the answer to these shifts in priorities isn't retirement, it's something called downshifting. Downshifting is all about adjusting your pace, not stepping off the track altogether. It means working fewer hours, focusing less on climbing the corporate ladder, and more on enjoying life outside of work. It's a balance that allows you to keep the mental and financial benefits of work while still making time for the things that matter most. More and more people are embracing this middle ground as they age. They don't fully retire, but they also don't keep pushing at full throttle. This blend of work and leisure tends to bring more satisfaction than either extreme, working yourself into the ground or quitting altogether. Of course, every person is different. What works for one might not work for another. But it's worth considering whether full retirement is really what you want. Maybe, instead of quitting, you'll decide to dial it back, to downshift, and keep a foot in the game without sacrificing your well-being. The key takeaway here is that retirement, as we know it, might not be the dream it's made out to be. Instead of following the crowd, Take a step back and really think about what you want your later years to look like. If you're still passionate about what you do, if your work gives you meaning and keeps you sharp, why stop? You don't have to make a decision today, but start thinking about it. Consider how you want to feel when you're older, how you want to spend your time, and whether stopping work entirely is the right call. There's no better time to reflect on it than right now. Until next time, keep pushing, keep growing, and stay in tune with what really matters.